Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our audience. I'm Shiali,
And
and
Shima.
I have Shima
Mhm.
with us today. So it is Righteous Way, Righteous Day, and once again, we'll be sharing about the pandemic of 2020 to, we can say 2024. It's around that time. So a lot of people has believed or wanted to believe that this thing would never repeat again, but we would also say be careful. If the CCP is still here, if the Chinese Communist Party still exists, they can make this happen again. If we don't make them disappear and take them down, they can continue doing these things to further their control. And let's have a look at what Miles Guo shared in 2020 when the pandemic was still in its early phase and a lot of things were still in like a mystery cloud. And because Miles Guo knows a lot of intelligence from the inside, he can share about what he thinks. So this is continuing from last episode's topic. So he says to the CCP, you force Chinese children to go to work or school using the police to hurry them up. You lock all the sick in their homes with no food and water. There is no milk for the children or medicine for the elderly, just themselves locked inside. You and the corrupt policemen, to what extent have you ruled the country with force?
Okay, all of the sentences and the words we read here to share with our friends, our audience, get a platform. When we trace back this kind of, look back this kind of information, for me, personally, I feel very sadly, heavily. And because all of these words, just countless millions of Chinese, tragedy happen in that land. Not only Chinese people, but also during the global pandemic, countless people, countless families, get this kind of strong impact.
They had this kind of treatment from the government telling
Yes.
them that they should just, they should just deal with it. Just deal with everything that they face. But there is no help from the government, which they can easily provide.
Yeah.
There's so much supplies, actually, the government can access, can give away for free.
Yes.
But they don't fulfill their responsibilities as a government as what it should be.
Yes, I agree with you. But, on the other hand, we might say comparatively, people in Western countries or in countries with democracy could have better chances during pandemic. They have some
Definitely,
better, living conditions, or they can, more easily to get essential materials in the daily life during pandemic. But, for Chinese people, for the people on that land controlled by CCP region, people's life just in, I don't know how to use the word to describe it, but just from Miles Guo's information in 2020, everyone you can read by yourself.
Yeah.
What kind of the life situation for Chinese people in CCP China, they are just in that kind of despair. They lose their hope to carry on their lives there.
They lack even the basic supplies for health and
milk,
survival.
food, water, this
Yes.
kind of things, or medicine, that is essential requirements
Exactly.
to sustain the
And-
people's lives there.
And if you read about enough news, especially during like 2020 at that time, inside communist China, it was just policy after policy with no introduction and no warning to what would happen. Like you can wake up the next day and the policy would be entirely different, and the police would be like, you have to stay at home, you can't go out. But
Just suddenly,
no
a lot of
preparation.
families, they have no preparation for
Yeah.
essential needs, and suddenly they are locked for weeks, for months, even for half a year. We don't know. But a lot of people just during that totally lockdown and lose their lives.
Yeah, they lost their lives inside the lockdown, but you don't see any of the news reporting this inside communist China. It's all censored. Nobody can say what they really are going through.
Yes.
In fact, during that time, there was a very small amount of this information channel that went across the communist China's firewall, and it was only through that the people outside, including us, were able to see some fellow fighters from inside China were bringing videos or photos or evidence of people sharing what their life was like inside that lockdown. And it was pretty bleak. I'll just say that.
Yes.
And it's not something that anyone should go through, but they did. And outside was the only place they could share their thoughts.
Yeah.
You can imagine, of course, it wasn't easy. Probably the videos that would have been gone through was heavily censored afterwards when the CCP found out. But at least during that time, people outside were able to share these videos on Getter or on other social media platforms and let people know what it was really like.
It's really difficult to get the truth and the facts.
It is.
Nowadays in this world, people often take for granted we are in a new era. We got a high technology and we can easily get access to any kinds of media platform. I cannot agree with these people.
Yeah, we have high technology, that's for sure. But
you got your cell phone, you got your
Yeah.
smartphone, you got newspaper, you got television, but they won't tell you or share you any kinds of real, information, not fake news, instead of, real happening or truth around you for this world. You cannot easily get that.
Yeah, and even like what we have now, not everyone has the things we have now.
Yes.
Like basic
Take us
commodities,
as one
electricity.
example. We
Yeah.
cannot share the information, or we cannot, let our people around us, not only in Australia, but also in China, our old friends, our classmates, workmates, relatives, they can trust us from this kind of, a platform
Yeah.
to accept this kind of happening, because all of their brains, all of their understanding are occupied by fake news, by, big lies, but they wouldn't like to get rid of it. They want to, on the contrary, they want to hold it tight because that is their world. That is their universe. We are just paranoid, and we cannot get to each other understanding at some level, or we can meet at some point.
Yeah.
This is really difficult during the global pandemic to share something, especially from, whistleblower movement, from Miles Guo's information source.
I'm sure during this time, people from all over the world were highlighting how difficult their life was getting and how much changes they have to face,
Yes.
whether it's to their job or people going to school or people having to take care of the sick. But I think none of that can compare to just having forcibly locked inside your home with no supplies at all and no information channel to the outside, and there is no end date. Like, you don't know when this thing is going to end.
Yes, endless.
Just
endless.
Like,
and
I'm sure
you
at
cannot
least
have
for
any
people
hope.
over here, they had some level of preparation and they had some level of news. And of course, the biggest thing was people can freely do Zoom calls, right? As long as you had devices and technology, you can share what your life was like inside your house 24/7.
I cannot believe that until now. For this kind of, happening during global pandemic, how Chinese people get to survive.
Yeah, it's like during this time, suddenly the government is just like, it's none of our business. We're not going to take care of you guys.
Yes, policy is
just
first.
You do you. Yeah, that's
the governmental phase is first, and the people's life for them just zero, meaningless.
And look at the last sentence. They say Miles Guo said,
Mhm.
you and the corrupt policemen. So it means the CCP uses the police to hurry these people inside their homes, to hurry these people to go to school in the previous years.
Not only policemen, the whole system, the whole CCP, dictatorship regime system, they just use any kind of force, any kind of, people to run in the system, to manipulate the people and to kill the people on purpose.
Essentially, they have to use brute force to maintain their control.
Yes, and even those they call that big white man. The big white man, and to do some mandated PCR testing.
Like the people in white suits.
Yes, white suit.
They're called the big white man, if you translate directly. Miles Guo also said, so now he's talking to everyone. He's saying, you're all panic buying masks. Leaders have masks readily available at home, piles and boxes of them. Wealthy people like Jack Ma donate to other countries 1 or 2 million masks at a time. But there are no masks for the Chinese people. Jack Ma is donating everywhere, 1, 2, 3 million. Can he make money without the support of the Chinese people? Is the boss of Jack Ma, the Jiang Zemin family, currently in short of masks? Are any of the Chinese officials, county governors,
protective equipment, but they
had
wouldn't
everything ready?
Yes,
for
they
that.
wouldn't leave any chance for their people. How can a party and take the control of the whole country, but let the people die without any notice? They send out the mask and any kind of protective equipment outside of China and let their own people to die without any help.
You can see
what kind of party there?
Yeah, it's like people look at the billionaire philanthropist Jack Ma, and people were saying how generous he was when he was donating millions of masks to the US, to other countries in Asia, to Europe. But what about his own people? Well, what about the people inside China? There are no masks for them. He's not donating it to them.
No food, no mask, no medicine, no chance to escape from their, dangerous homes. At that time, a home without food, without water sometimes, how can people to survive through, many days?
It's so simple. The CCP just doesn't care whether they live through this lockdown. They don't care
people's life
about their own residents and whether they can have a healthy living, whether they can survive this crisis. But they would try to make sure their officials, their county governors, and their high-ranking military officers have access to these supplies.
What kind of the country is so crazy sometimes?
So it's very simple. The inequality is very obvious, but you don't really see people talking about that.
I might, guess for some of our Western audience, they also feel, strongly confusing. Why Chinese people can take that? If Chinese people, lead this life, they should fight against. You should say no. But sadly, that's Chinese people because they are cheated, because they take away the rights to vote, to say no, to protest, to fight against, because all of the, taxpayer system just used to fight and to do harm to the people there. The officials, not civil servants, the policemen, even the military forces, all of the weapons just to prepare for the people. So what kind of the country? This is not a normal country or normal government.
But
Chinese people don't know. They cannot get access to any kinds of evilness of CCP. They just cover up their evilness.
Very ironic how the CCP had so much supplies and people and workers to act as what you have mentioned, the big white men, which is the men in white suits that force people to do their COVID testing and all of that things. But they don't have the workers to deliver food to the people. But they can force them to do COVID tests.
Yes. We only can, because the time is so short, we only got a half an hour, program each day or each time. So many stories just, to pour out in my mind. Sometimes I really don't know what kind of story I should choose to tell or should share our audience. Very difficult. With many years of fighting with Miles Guo in whistleblower movement, we read and, get countless stories from CCP China or some, sad happenings outside in rest of the world. I can give you some, small story. For example, I have some official friends work in CCP region, and they was forced to, they was forced, and also they forced again to the people to take the PCR test. And through the telephone conversation, I was told, we don't think that is useful. And even for us, we don't think that is efficiency and useful and helpful to get through the whole demic. Because many times, open door policy and many times of lockdown policy, again and again, even people would like to to against this kind of policy.
People
and we cannot let people to listen to us. I mean, for those official friends, they are civil servants, we call, and so they got talent, they got the talents, they got the, consciousness, but they have to do that. If you want to be an official in CCP region system, and you have to take the policy and carry it out without any doubt. You have to. You cannot say no.
Your friend was an official?
And friends, not a friend.
Your friends?
Yes.
In
they are officials.
Examples you're talking about?
Yes, they works for the city council or the provincial council.
So
or
they should be more privileged than the average citizen.
Yes, right.
Technically.
Yes. Technically, they got their own practical equipment, but
even then,
they still
it's impractical.
Are, exposed to some high risk at that time during global, mandate lockdown procedure or any kind of mandate policy. They also think we are put in a high risk to close contact with people outside, but they have no choice, even for some, official there.
So these officials or governors mentioned in this paragraph, like what Miles Guo said, that he was basically asking rhetorical questions. Are they in need of masks? Obviously, it's a no. Yeah. But it's also something to mention. These officials, they probably have these essential supplies, but they still don't have their rights. If any of them opposed the policies of the pandemic, especially if they're more low-ranking, I am sure they would also have received punishment from the government.
Yes, and besides, for the mask mandate, mandatory mask and social distance and anything, mandate PCR testing, all of these kinds of procedures or requirements during global pandemic, we put question marks on all of them. Besides that, people keep asking, what can we get from it? The mask, nowadays, a lot of scientists and healthy professionals present a lot of, side effect of these kind of procedures. The masks, we have so many, funny pictures or stories during global pandemic, people without masks. Because in the market, a lot of masks are stock and, be sold out. Ordinary people cannot get anyone, even in Australia. Luckily for my family, for our family, because we still got some keep in the home after Australia's big fire, because
The
we should
bushfires
protect,
of
yes,
2019.
that bushfire. We should use mask to protect us from that dust, dusty,
Yeah, we
weather.
were getting really ready for
Yes,
the bushfires
we already
because
get
it was
mask
pretty
ready
bad.
for
Yeah,
us.
if you're in Australia, you probably know
Yes.
it was pretty bad in 2019.
Yes.
So we got ready for like everything.
Yes, luckily we got, and also for Shima myself, I already formed a habit to store something, canned food at home. So I don't rush out to do something shopping.
There wasn't too many panic buys.
Yes. But for our neighbors, I know in this community, I know a lot of people, they cannot get even toilet paper. So I send out my toilet paper store at home to all of our neighbors, some canned food, even a box of eggs. At that time, this is really helpful. So this is Australia. How about the people in CCP China, and how about the people in other countries without any information related with CCP man-made disaster?
It's totally man-made.
Yes.
They make the disaster themselves.
Pandemic, remember? We mentioned,
Pandemic.
yes.
They don't take accountability for
Yes.
something they created themselves. But of course they wouldn't, because they have created this. They have planned this pandemic for so long that they would try everything they can to avoid any sort of punishment or truth-seeking people.
Yes. Why so many high-level, top-level officials in that system can get rid of everything, but people cannot get?
Exactly.
Yes. And information is first important.
It is.
And for fellow fighters in whistleblower movement with Miles Guo, we, God bless us, we got anything prepared, even the medicine, the civil medicine prepared for us.
Because Miles Guo told us beforehand
Yes.
to get ready for everything. He told us what was going to happen. He
Yes.
told us, he predicted the pandemic. But this is not just a prediction.
Yes,
He
we
just
are
knew
lucky, we are blessed,
Yeah.
but how about other people?
Yes, people who
Yes.
can't access the live streams of Miles Guo.
Mhm.
He also mentioned on the 7th of March 2020, this kind of criminal underworld organized as governance is actually completely accepted by the people. Governing the country by crime, by police, and by deception has been fully accepted by the Chinese people and spread internationally.
It's really shame for them, right?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
How can they accept it? I think that's probably a question a lot of people are asking when they see these sentences. And I have to say, the propaganda from the Chinese Communist
The
Party
brainwash
is very strong.
really powerful. We might admit that. This is one thing.
Miles Guo
one
have
reason.
mentioned that they will just repeat, the CCP will repeat their propaganda to you again and again until you really believe it's true. Another thing is people, because they have received so many of this propaganda, they think it's normal. They think that ruling by crime and ruling by force, ruling with an iron fist, is something a normal government should have.
They
That's
are not
what they think.
normal government.
Not
They
at
are,
all.
that is, CCP China is not a normal country. So that's why we would like to use this kind of program to share the whole world and also to spread out the truth, how evil this party is and what kind of the version of the real face of CCP. Because CCP use propaganda, use brainwash, and use infiltration, use money to bribe to erect its positive image and to cheat the whole world. Not only to cheat Chinese people, to force them to be their slaves. Slaves generation by generation. We are just one generation of it. We're just one of them. One of, several generations.
Chinese people for 70 plus years.
Yes.
And they want to do it now to other countries. But
can you accept that, our friends?
I'm sure you cannot.
Yes.
It's so crazy also. They think that because the Chinese people accept their ways of these crimes, governing by crimes, they think everyone else can also accept them from other places in the world. They really think that people can accept a dictator governing every part of their lives.
Actually, if they can do this kind of things by cheating, by force, by deception, any kinds of, things or measures they will use to maintain its control to Chinese people. They will do the similar thing or the same thing to the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's just because that they know they
already
know
got experience now. They are experienced monster to maintain its power. You have to notice that.
They're like experienced thieves and liars, but it would be better if they didn't have so much control, if they weren't in such a high-ranking seat in the global world, but they are. And every one of their actions affect billions of people. In fact, I think affects the entire world, especially given that they do want to take over every place. It's simply because they know they haven't, which is why they're trying to put rose-tinted glasses on everyone and keep a positive image. But
let's just maybe we can discuss with a situation to our audience in this way. For example, I would like to ask our friends from different places, different countries, do you think Chinese people is smart? Of course, most of the people I met in different countries, they told me in front of me, not complimentary, but, sincerely, they told me Chinese people are really, friendly, smart, clever, with wisdom, with, long history of culture, culturalized, and also create a lot of, good tradition and to do a lot of respectful contribution to the world. Yes, all of these just based on the things you already know from the books, from the history, and from any kind of, culture presentation. But why smart and clever, friendly Chinese people would like to be the slave of CCP? We should ask this kind of question.
Because you often think
this is a big conflicting facts.
It's like two different personalities in one place. I believe people inside China, they really believe the government is doing their best.
Government wouldn't like to. They think their idea is government is, so respectful and they wouldn't do anything to, hurt us or do any harm to us. This is the real words one of my friends speak directly to me through telephone
so we know
conversation.
At least a big group of people think
government. How government can do this kind of things like, killing people purposely to their own people on their own land?
Yeah, because they think
unbelievable.
They think the CCP has the same mindset as themselves.
So they pretend they are the normal government and cheated the people on that land for many years. This is why truth and facts sharing and spreading is very important. If we cannot let the truth voice, the people already awaken people's voice out easily, and many more generations in China or other places might be, damaged by CCP, the, monster easily. Because in my mind, there's still a vivid picture just now, popped out like, that is a big monster, but silently, gently, bit by bit, this monster libel a little bit, pinched a little bit democracy and let the democracy, fade away.
So it's so slow.
We should be careful.
People might not realize.
Yes.
But it's real. This erosion of democracy is real.
It's really difficult. This is a big challenge for everyone.
Yeah, I think
in this era, Miles Guo sent out the alarm to everyone worldwide in 2020. After many years, around 10 years now, can all of the people understand how sincerely Miles Guo is and how difficult it is to let people to get access to all of the information whistleblower movement sent out.
I know that there has been tons of information that Miles Guo shared even before 2020, before this pandemic started, because he knew what was going to happen. So he reminded everyone to stock up rice, stock up oil, stock up food, stock up water if possible, because it could have also been a huge crisis where there wasn't water.
And I'm rich, but I still want to be richer.
Yeah, and it's this mentality of a lot of people. They didn't believe the crisis was going to get huge. They didn't believe they would be affected by this pandemic. They just thought, yeah, it's normal, but it wasn't. So when this crisis came out, a lot of people was panic buying, which is completely, I think it's very like, I can totally understand these people's ideas, because of course no one wants to be short on food or medicine or any of that things, but just a lot of people didn't believe what Miles Guo was saying early on.
Yes.
Only when it happened, people were like, oh, right, he was right.
I hope a lot of people behind us, when we just drive forward, when we want to push forward to save our people inside mainland China and also in Hong Kong, even Taiwan now, a lot of people, they are still in their dreams.
They are.
But I hope this kind of program to help them to get more and understand more.
I believe a lot of people has woken up since this pandemic started, and a lot of people have realized what really started it. The CCP started this. And that's enough for today's episode, but we'll continue sharing more information next time at
Thank you very much. See you next time.
See you.